WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Former President Trump pleads not guilty in a courtroom in Lower Manhattan of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records.
Virtually everybody that has looked at this case, including rhinos and even hardcore Democrats, say there is no crime.
Trump addressing his supporters at his Palm Beach estate. It stems from hush money payments to women he had alleged affairs with. But the timing of future court appearances in question, Florida Congressman Carlos Jimenez.
Very un-American, very dangerous. They're obviously interfering in the election.
The Republican earlier on Fox and Friends first. Wild weather. Fox weather confirming Bollinger County, Missouri, a tornado.
Just off to the west of Cape Girardeau here in Bollinger County. That's where we did see this confirmation where we do have multiple homes being damaged.
And taking place a short time ago. Fox Weather's Jane Menor. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real talk starts now.
And we really don't have much to talk about today, so we're just going to resume playing some music, and then we'll sit back and play some commercials, and we'll just hang around for a couple of hours. What do you think?
Okay.
Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
You're way too agreeable.
Just get the cards out.
Yeah, hey, we can play cards. Y'all want us to play some cards?
Uno.
Oh, I love
Uno?
Uno.
I play that with my kid clients.
I love
what? What's Uno?
It's an easy
It's a
kid
card
game
game.
that I know how to play.
Well, then why would I know how to play it?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
My grandson beats me at it
I
all the
love it.
time.
My clients beat me at it just about every day.
Well. Much ado about nothing?
I would
Probably
say
yes.
so.
Yeah.
I would absolutely say
I did not, probably luckily, I worked yesterday down at Tide Line. So I got home last night and my feet were absolutely worn out. And my bride had my recliner with the cushions in it outside on the deck.
Because she's the best.
Oh,
She is.
absolutely. The bestest of the best. And I sat down in there and I relaxed completely and totally to the point that I didn't see the sun go down because I was asleep.
I love it.
Nice.
I woke up, it was mostly dark.
Mhm.
And I'm like, holy moly. This is the way life is supposed to be in America. No
Oh,
TV.
yes.
Mhm.
And thankfully, nobody called me. I got a phone call as soon as I sat down, but
Mhm.
that was okay. And because I'd called my cousin earlier.
Mhm.
But anyway, that's the way this country should be. Forget about the TV. Forget about the news. Forget about this demon right here called a computer.
Mhm.
And telephones, put them in a glass of water. They will not ring very long.
Feeling it. Mhm.
Might hear a little bit of gurgling.
Good. No, it would just quit ringing
Oh,
and
we
quit
just
doing
heard
everything.
yours.
Yeah, dadgummit. Let's see. Wonder who's doing whatever. That could be email or whatever. I still haven't figured out this new phone. It gives me all these notifications. Oh yeah. Well, that was Hollywood.
Oh, it's just.
So Hollywood's up and listening this morning.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
He's not
Good
usually
morning,
up this early.
Hollywood.
and he was playing with the computer over here,
Yeah, I
and
saw
I sent him a note. I said, "Somebody, I think my computer has been possessed
Mhm.
because it was moving
Well, it
around,
was moving all around. I
it
was
was doing
watching it.
things that I wasn't touching it
Yeah.
Chris, you can't do that 5 minutes before we go on air.
because we get excited.
It
It's
freaked us out.
stressful.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I had the other part. I could get on the air and we just ignore what was happening there.
We just won't be able to go to commercials.
That's right.
Yeah. So we could talk the whole time.
That's right. We
Woohoo.
had to do that one morning, didn't we?
We've done it before.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
did that for what, 2 hours one
Yeah.
morning?
Yes.
Holy
I mean,
mackerel.
I can talk.
No.
I can. I know, right?
So you got yourself all moved and everything over the weekend
Right.
last week. And you
Except
still
we don't have phones. It's so aggravating.
Oh, bless you.
Well, the staff doesn't think so, but yeah, it's awful. And I don't want to badmouth Spectrum until we get our stuff straight.
Uh-huh.
Then I might do it.
Well, see, you didn't do things right because when we moved from the other location to here,
Mhm.
they came out here immediately, and all they did was spend 15 minutes and had us operational.
Rayford, we had this set up a month in advance. We
Well, I
I
did
thought
too.
this was an easy peasy.
Oh
We
no.
trust me when I tell you.
Oh,
Two different days of
you just
technicians.
don't know you don't know the right people.
Apparently, I do not.
You just needed to call me. I could have made that one phone call and they could have been there. You would have been switched over 15 minutes later, gone, and before you could get the furniture moved.
At least we've got our fax machine and copier hooked back to where we originally wanted, because the Friday people had moved it into one of the other girls' offices. It was mad, but now we don't have phones. We had phones Friday, now we don't.
Well, that's
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 can't.
life.
I'm over it. Over it.
You don't need a phone to talk to clients.
Yeah, I guess nobody can call and make appointments. I mean, we've
Well,
got it.
you got appointments in advance, right?
They all, yeah, mine
Okay,
have
so
standing
just
appointments.
come on in.
Some of the other staff, have, but they get new ones.
Uh-huh.
Daily. It's just a mess. Mess. I just somebody please fix our phones at work.
There's a business number you call.
That's who we're dealing with, Rayford. You
Oh,
just
really?
you don't understand.
Oh, I just understand that they came out here and took care of me in a
Mhm.
heartbeat.
We have a whole business
They
rep
were
and
actually
everything.
waiting for me the day that we left from over there. They
Mm-hmm.
beat me here.
Let me tell you, we learned that the dispatch people and the business people don't communicate. That's been determined.
That's why I have a number
Mhm.
to call the business side direct.
We
Yes, I
had
have that.
once again. We have a business rep that Rayford, you just don't know
don't
our
have
plight.
the cell phone number.
I'm gonna find somebody's home address.
No, cell phone number is best
Mhm.
of the individual.
Yeah.
I got it done.
Anyway, yeah.
Spectrum did us good here.
They're not fooling with us. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, something was going on yesterday. I forgot what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what was it?
You talking about the Trump indictment?
Oh, that thing.
Mm.
Well,
34 counts.
the only thing that I have come across on the internet about that is the hot blonde cop that was in the back of the
Yeah.
courtroom. That
I
made
watched it. I
that
don't recall seeing her.
Rachel
got
just showed me a picture.
more
She
news
exists.
coverage than anything else. That's what they said. They called her a hot blonde.
Right.
So there.
Well, I know one thing. It sure stopped New York in its tracks yesterday.
Well,
It put every cop in New York on duty yesterday.
FDR was even closed down for a while in order to allow the 10 vehicles in the procession led by law enforcement. 10 vehicles.
Well,
10 black
he's-
SUVs.
He's still under Secret Service
Yes.
protection.
Yes. Oh, he was under heavy protection
And
yesterday.
nobody wanted to be the one not to do whatever needed to be done to make sure that it
Mhm.
was okay.
What gets me is the judge told him, "You will be back December 4th. I would prefer that you're here in person." Well, that's already putting it out there. What day he's going to be there?
Well, they got to do
when-
that. That's
I
by
know that,
law.
but doesn't that put him more at risk?
Well, he will be campaigning just as hard as he can. That's
True.
that's just like really.
I listened to his speech last
And there's
night.
no gag order.
No gag order
in place,
but
so
he's
he can
got
get
to
out
be
and campaign.
careful of his social media presence. The judge has already warned him.
And what's he going to do if he's not? What can he do? What can a judge or anybody else do?
Well,
Huh.
my prediction in all this mess is once all the motions are filed,
It'll
it's
be
never going to
too-
go before a court. It's never going to
There
go
will be
before
no
a jury.
will
No,
be
it's
hearing
never gonna
this.
go.
No.
He's charged with 34 criminal charges for covering up,
Paying
attempting to
hook-
cover up a
paying some
crime. And
hookers.
nowhere in the indictment does it say what the crime is. Nothing.
Well, I'm going to go back to my question. Y'all have said it from the day one. What is the crime?
He paid hookers.
Well, having
Shut
sex with
up.
a hooker can be a crime, but is he charged with having sex with
Nope.
a hooker? Because there's probably
Nope.
no evidence of the actual sex.
Well, first of all, it would be a misdemeanor.
correct
And the statute of limitation has done expired on that
on
one.
that one, so you can't even
So-
charge him with that.
But while
So-
he was campaigning or was in office, he
Mhm.
paid a hooker or paid you or me or anybody else to shut up about what we know about him,
Mhm.
that would be the crime.
How is paying? Okay, I'm
But paying somebody hush money is not a crime.
that's not a crime. Is it?
Yeah, if you use campaign funds, it
The
is.
DA.
Okay, if you use campaign funds, I could see that. But how you gonna prove
You're not.
what campaign funds were
His
used?
stuff is so.
That's my
His
point.
money
See,
is
my
so
thing is,
convoluted. His
yes.
bank accounts and everything else. So, but was it bad business practices? Probably.
He's trying to
Most-
say it had to
Hmm.
do with reporting on his business records. Now, if he used campaign money, which that has yet to be proved, but if he used campaign money to pay hush money, that's a federal thing. That is not a state of
There
New
you
York
go.
thing. Federal. It falls
Absolutely.
under the Federal Elections Commission.
Yeah, and if it happened over 4 years ago,
And the time statute of limitations has
There
run
you
out
go.
on it. So the whole thing is
I don't know if there is a statute of limitations on a federal crime.
Well-
if it's a felony, there's probably no statute of limitations.
the whole thing is just, I mean, every news channel I listened to, whether it was a left leaning, right leaning, middle leaning, whatever, that everyone was saying the whole thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's
All the way top to top, officials. It's just, I don't know. I think that DA Bragg has signed his fate. His
well,
future
no,
fate.
he hasn't. If he can keep Donald Trump, if Donald Trump does not either get the nomination or if he gets the nomination and is not elected, then Mr. Bragg will be a top player in the DNC.
But since the indictment was
Wait and see.
announced, Trump raised over $8 million in donations.
Wow.
Yes, the
Hey,
people.
but why don't can we get a judge to indict me?
I mean, but the
I
other
should get
thing
a dollar
is
and a half,
too,
maybe.
We're going to do a GoFundMe for you.
I mean, this Bragg guy
I need a
is
boat.
awfully brave because a lot of some of these Trump people take things so extreme. I bet
Yeah.
he's got death threats
Oh,
already.
he did
Well,
have
I'm
death
sure he
threats.
does.
Last week he did.
Yeah.
Well,
And but some of them are serious enough probably that they would actually carry it out. Some of these people.
Oh well, they're idiots on all
Well,
sides.
that's what I'm saying.
And,
Yes. I mean, is
Trump's-
it my thing is it worth it?
Trump's got his
No,
side
yeah.
of his share of all the idiots in the world back.
Well, they all
we know
do.
that.
Yes.
We know
Yeah.
that's the way it works. But
That's what I'm
I
saying. You
mean,
get these extremists, but some of them are so, there are a few that might be unbalanced enough to actually do something.
You mean
like
like
that.
Hinckley?
Something like
Yeah,
that's what I'm
uh-huh.
saying.
It could
yes.
happen.
Yes, it could happen.
So anyway,
Well,
and it
you
could
want some
happen.
good news on the state level? State Representative Tricia Cawthorn. She's a Democrat from Mecklenburg County, the
For
Charlotte
just a little
area.
while.
Today, she's announcing that she's changing her party affiliation to Republican,
Really?
which is
She's not going halfway.
giving the GOP a veto-proof majority in the state legislature.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah,
my.
they
now
already
that
had
is
it on
big
the
news.
Senate
Yeah.
side. Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
she's changing over.
I didn't know she was
Well,
from
she's been
Mecklenburg. I didn't
known.
look.
Oh
but-
yeah, Mecklenburg is a crazy place, but she's voted quite often on the Republican side.
Has she?
anyway,
Did
with
she
her
say
stuff.
why she's?
No, but she's supposed to make her announcement today. Said that I want to hear.
Yeah.
I want to hear.
I
I'm
bet
gonna
maybe
watch
she'll
that.
say it. Wow.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
want to know why. Is it the Trump shenanigan thing crap going on here? How many other people?
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Hold on,
Anybody
Ray. I'm
else?
going to interrupt you. How many are people going to call her a rhino?
Well, that's my first thought. I said, "Oh, we're going to sit here and applaud the Republicans. Oh, she's changing, but yet, doesn't that constitute a rhino?
No,
'cause-
it does not.
Because how
Well,
many
she
times
was a
have we been
Democrat.
called rhinos, even though we've been Republicans all our life because we didn't agree
I
with
mean,
something?
somebody in Mecklenburg County will call her
Oh,
whatever. But however,
Mecklenburg is very left.
let's go to our district attorney.
Yes.
People have called him a rhino.
Really?
That was said during
Mhm.
his election. Yes.
Oh my God! Well, how did that work out for them?
He got elected.
Got reelected
69% or something like that.
Yeah. And how about former Sheriff Ed Brown? He
That's
became
right.
he switched
And
parties.
called him a rhino too, though.
There was such talk when he wrote the letter to the GOP saying that he was leaving the Democratic Party and going to Republican. Oh, there was so much said, but yet he remained a Republican after he changed over all that time and got reelected every time.
Is he still a Republican?
Yes, he's still a Republican.
Okay.
Yeah. Still
Still a Republican. Well, Onslow
Well,
County.
here's what I got to say about that too, though. No matter what letter you have behind your name, you go in there, you can vote however you want.
That's right.
The letter, in all honesty, is
Only-
really irrelevant.
Only
That's
for the-
rhino talk, Kelly.
Oh my! Well, y'all just stop. some of these people yelling rhino used to be Democrats. So I really don't have any care to say anything they say.
Well, I think
And I've
it's
been a
part of
Republican my entire
democracy.
life.
It's part of living in the United States. You have that freedom of choice. If you're a Democrat, you want to change over to Republican because your opinions and views have changed, do it, and vice versa.
Well, I'm
You
thinking
don't
about
see many
becoming independent.
Republicans going
Well, Ed Brown
Democrat.
told me when I asked him, I said, why did you do this? And he said, for the record, I did not leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party
Right.
left me.
Yeah.
The Democrat Party used to be in the South, the Dixie Democrats, very
Mhm.
conservative,
Right.
extremely conservative, not right wing, but conservative back in the day
Mhm.
before you were born. They left people like Ed Brown behind.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
But yet
'Cause
he
Ed
got
Brown is-
voted in.
He does have
Every
a lot of
time.
conservative ways of thinking. So,
Oh, he's got a lot of
yeah,
them.
so he definitely would not fit in today's Democrat Party for
Sometimes
sure.
He's got some ultra conservative.
Oh, I agree. They were like extreme in my opinion,
Some
but
of
he
them,
would not fit in
absolutely.
today's Democratic Party.
Hey, oh
No,
no,
no.
I haven't
you-
searched
No.
our registration numbers in a couple of weeks. Let's see. We were unaffiliates were up by 1,729 the last time I
Wow.
checked.
Let's see what they
Uh-huh.
are
Now, as April 1st, let me bring it up here. Get down to Onslow.
Drum
I'm
roll.
curious. What do you think, Rayford?
All right, somebody get the calculator out.
Drum
Oh,
roll.
Lord, hold on. Let me get the calculator.
right.
Oh,
Give me a second.
All right,
All right.
unaffiliates. Oh, 47,661.
oh, that's a lot of us.
All
Uh-huh.
right.
We rule.
And Republicans 45,823.
1838.
It went from 1729 to 1838.
What's all the Republican
Oh.
Party infighting? And that women's Republican Party mess is probably adding fuel in it throughout the state.
Uh-huh.
That's a soap opera in itself.
Are you talking about the group that are supporting one candidate for vice chair over another group that's supporting someone else for vice
And
chair?
then
of the
there's calls
state?
of racism and
Oh, my
backstabbing,
Lord.
and it's
Where
it's-
did all that come from?
I don't know. It's people with way too much time on their hands, in my opinion, and a bunch of nonsense. So
It's like a Mean Girls Club.
it is a Mean Girls Club.
Oh my gosh.
No wonder Democrats are so confused.
Right.
And there's a
There's a lot
gallery
on
of
here.
photographs here.
That's just yeah. I
Woman,
agree.
mostly peaceful, Native American, nah, expert, oppressed. When you've got, what's this girl's name that was on TV with a Daily Show? Other people. And they got Hillary listed as a
Talking about
hero.
somebody from
We
The
got
View.
smartest
That's-
guy I
that's,
know.
Hunter Biden.
Hunter, smartest guy I know is Hunter Biden, and then there's the president,
Well-
and then there's somebody listed as a woman. I'm not sure what it really is.
Well, did
It's
you
a
hear
guy.
also talking about these
wonder
files
that
that they
can-
got Trump for having, which he claims he declassified?
Is that in the
whatever?
34 counts, or is that something totally different?
That's just
This is totally different.
irrelevant.
But what I was getting at is they found out in March that Biden had distributed some of the classified documents he had. They found some in Chinatown. Chinatown. Files hidden.
really.
Yes, they found it was like 3 different locations that files were moved. And one of them was in Chinatown. Now you tell me, what's it doing in Chinatown?
And who moved it there?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Probably Hunter. His daddy probably said clean out the garage, and he just dumped him wherever he could.
Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and then when we come back, we got a lot to talk about, and then we'll have a phone call when we come back as well. Just hang in there. You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. If I can find my cursor, I'll make this thing go round and round.
Piggly Wiggly store where good things cost less. Down home down the street on the Richlands Highway here in Jacksonville and Main Street in Maysville. How about a 2-pound bag of bright leaf hot dogs for just $7.99? Grade A baking hens are only 99 cents a pound. Smoked shank ham portions, $1.59 a pound. Smithfield spiral sliced half hams are only $2.39 a pound. Pork spare ribs, $1.79 a pound. Great for the grill. St. Louis style pork ribs are only $1.79 a pound. And fresh ground chuck 10 pounds or more, just $3.39 a pound. And whole chickens, just $1.49 a pound. And remember, the beef and pork is cut fresh every day by the butchers at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, and they use only the finest and certified Angus beef and Sanderson's Farm chicken. Over in produce, North Carolina grown sweet potatoes, just 59 cents a pound. White, yellow, or bicolored corn, 49 cents each. Extra large tomatoes, just $1.99 a pound. White seedless grapes, $2.99 a pound. Whole seedless watermelons, sweet, just $4.99 each. And fresh zucchini or yellow squash is $1.79 a pound. And you get the 24-pack size of Pepsi or Mountain Dews for just $12.95. That's your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store where good things cost less. Down home, down the street on the Richlands Highway in Jacksonville and Main Street in Maysville. Remember, say big with the pig.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And back live and local. And Tideline Marine right here in Jacksonville. I was down there all day yesterday. The number of people that came by, some of them just to talk. One guy said, I need to get this right now, but I'm coming back because I heard you talking about you will teach me about saltwater fishing. I've never been fishing in the ocean.
That's my favorite.
That's what I'm getting. And folks, if you come on down to Tideline, there are a lot of folks down there who fish in the ocean. And you, because you came from the Midwest and there's nothing but lakes and creeks and stuff like that there, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Come on in. A lot of the fishing is the same, but there's some specialties that we do around in this neck of the woods that we can hook you up. This one gentleman said, I've been hearing about Spanish mackerel. And I need to get some stuff. I don't know how to rig this stuff. I said, not a problem. Come on down. We've got some that's already rigged. I'll get you hooked up with that. Just the basics. Nothing trying to sell you a bunch of stuff you don't need like they do in the big box stores. But here's what you really need to go out and enjoy the day and bring home some bacon. Fish for dinner. Fresh fish for dinner. That's the best way to go. But we will share that with you. That's not an issue. By the way, you need to pick up a issue of the Topsail Times. I've got an article in there about Spanish fishing right now. And in proof of the pudding, a picture of George with a big old Spanish in his hands. So just pick it up. It's free. You can stop by Tideline and grab an issue if you want to. There's still some left there. And take a look at that, and that'll give you some information about what you can expect when the water temperature gets about 3 or 4 more degrees warmer. It's on the way. It's fast. It's in the 60s now. Get 68 in the surf. There will be Spanish here every day. Right now, offshore, there is Spanish. Further out there, that's a lot of gas money to get out there where they are. Wait for the water temperature, then go out and enjoy a great time. And you don't even need a big boat. 17, 18 footers can make it with no problem whatsoever, as long as you listen to the weather forecast, which is what we're doing right now. If you listen to that, we'll tell you when you can get through the inlet. New River or Bogue Inlet, those are the 2 primary inlets in our coverage area. Moorhead, Beaufort Inlet, you can get out there most of the time unless there's huge waves going, but because the water is deep out there. Just listen up, pay attention. We'll tell you what's going to be happening. Today is one of those good days. Southerly winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, dominant period 6 seconds, sounds and rivers only a light chop. The biggest problem you'll have today is trying to find the buoys and looking out there in the distance because it's got a lot of fog.
Yeah, it's very foggy.
Yeah, it's very foggy.
Yeah.
Look, I can't even see the trees that I saw a little while ago.
Yeah. I was looking at that earlier.
Okay. But the patchy fog until late in the afternoon, believe it or not. Southwesterly winds tomorrow, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet. Another beautiful day, dominant period 6 seconds. And on Friday, westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming northeasterly. Now, Friday afternoon, things are going to get a little dicier. So if you're going to do it, you got between now and Friday, say 10 or 11 o'clock to get on out there. Northeasterly 20 to 25 in the afternoon, gusts to 30, seas 2 to 4 feet.
Today, mostly sunny, high of 85. It'll be a little bit gusty today.
If you can see the sun.
That's true. That's true. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 64. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high of 82 and still gusty. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, a low of 63. And on Friday, mostly cloudy, a high of 68. It could get gusty on Friday with gusts as high as 20 miles an hour. And it's going to rain Friday night and all day Saturday.
Good. My
And Saturday's
garden's
going to
going
be
to need it.
56.
So
It's gonna
come
be
on
a
down to
chilly
Tideline
rain.
Marine. I'll get you hooked up, pardon the pun. Get you hooked up and get you ready for the Spanish season.
I like that. Get you hooked up.
Get you hooked up.
Get you hooked
I like
up.
it.
So,
Hey, talk about getting hooked up.
mhm.
As you hear, North Carolina General Assembly's got a new NC Senate bill. Let me see, where did it go?
Is it going to be bulletproof?
346, yeah, to legalize a certain amount of marijuana for citizens over the age of 21 to possess small amounts
Oh,
of
my
marijuana.
Lord.
Regular marijuana?
Yeah.
Regular
Yes.
marijuana
That's
for
not
recreational
good.
use.
That's not
at all.
good.
You watch, it's going to pass now.
I think that's wrong.
And if passed, anyone convicted of possession charges that would otherwise be legal under the bill's text would have that charge expunged no later than July 2026. And there 20% sales tax on this now with
20% sales
yes.
tax?
And
Whoa.
municipalities have the option to charge a 3%.
So
tax.
it's a money-making proposition for.
So where are you going to buy this marijuana at? Is that going to be sold in stores?
No, I'm sure. I have not read the bill yet.
So
to
if
see
you
what
buy
it
from
is,
somebody, but they're not saying that somebody can sell it and it's legal for somebody whoever's
no,
selling
what
it.
they'll do is I'll have to read the bill, but the
I
one I
think
had
that's
read
entrapment.
a couple
Personally,
years
But that
ago.
don't make sense, Lee. What kind of drug dealer is going to say, hey, by the way, I'm selling Lee?
Well,
not
let
this
me
pot."
say,
It doesn't
see-
work that way.
I'll read the bill and get more
That is
educated on
dumb.
it. But what they had before is that you have to go through a certain process to be a farmer to farm it, and there's really strict restrictions
so
on it.
The
So you got to
sale,
go buy it from the pot farm.
Right? Yeah,
not,
more or less.
not the illegal distributors.
But
Okay.
50% of the tax revenue would go to the general fund, while the remaining half would be split like this: 25% to a community reinvestment and repair fund, 10% social equity fund created by the bill, 3% to a cannabis education and technical assistance fund, 7% to the Department of Human and Health Services for
What comes to me?
evidence-based.
What do I get?
You get to go buy the weed.
Space what?
I just want to know where the money is.
For evidence-based voluntary programs for substance abuse treatment or prevention.
Let me go ahead and say right now, as somebody that works in the prevention field and has been certified by the state and licensed for substance abuse, there is no evidence-based marijuana program.
Well, maybe they're starting one. I don't know.
There
It
you go.
doesn't work that
2%
way.
to the DHHS for a public education campaign for both youth and adults about the health and safety risks of
What
alcohol,
a
tobacco,
We've already
cannabis,
had that.
and
I got a
other
grant. I got a
substances.
block grant for that now. We've had it for 20 years. Like this
All right,
is
we
a
got a call.
crock.
All right.
Hey, Doug, good morning. Now we got a new program, something you
This
can
is
make
a
some money at, Doug, if you
Yeah.
want to get out there and plant a
Grow
field.
your own farm.
This would be the perfect climate to do it in.
Yeah.
You know, tobacco grows great here now, so it would be huge for the North Carolina economy.
Yeah, it has been for several decades. Actually, I've
I
seen
wanted
it.
to. I had to get into the shower a little bit earlier ago, but I heard Lee say
Thank goodness.
that everything she listened to yesterday, both the right and left wing, were like, "Oh, we can't believe it. What's the big deal?" I didn't hear that at all watching the left wing
I did.
media. And let me tell you, the thing that I was kind of hoping that there would be something that would show that Alan Weiselberg flipped, but it's not a good day for Trump. And when you read, did any of you read the 15-page supporting indictment material of the fact-finding thing that the DA released?
I was working
I read
yesterday
some
and
of it,
last
yeah.
night I slept when
I
I
didn't
got
see
home.
any of it, so no.
If you look at the 15-page indictment, the thing that jumps off the page is the phrase shell companies. And what I didn't know until reading this yesterday is Michael Cohen paid Stormy Daniels $130,000. That was
Right.
widely known. Do you know how much Trump paid back to Michael Cohen for that $130,000?
I have no clue.
He paid back Cohen for that transaction made $460,000.
That was also
Pretty nice
included
return
his
in it.
fees.
Right,
No, it wasn't. And this is the thing. that came out that you're like, oh my gosh, this is bad. It wasn't part of a retainer. It wasn't part of monthly his regular fees. What this established was that they built shell companies to pay back Michael Cohen. The shell companies allowed both Cohen and the Trump organization to make these transactions tax-free. So even if they say, oh, this is a federal, they're going after a federal election contribution violations, the thing that Alvin Bragg said in his press conference yesterday was one of the crimes we believe was committed, one of the other felonies, was New York state tax invasion. Which is a state crime, not a federal crime. There is no statute of limitations on that. It does, and that looks, when you look at it, you're like, oh my gosh. Anytime you start setting up shell companies, it's never a good thing.
Well, that's the first I've ever heard about a shell company, Doug. I don't know. Where did you get that?
Out of the 15-page document, and it was also Alvin Bragg talks about it in his press conference yesterday.
Here's the one thing that got me, what you just said. And of course, I did not see anything yesterday or last night. I was tired, worn out. So I'm kind of playing catch up. So help me out here. The district attorney prosecuting a case held a press conference at the beginning of this case, this trial.
After the indictment.
Holy crap. District attorneys don't do that. That's the last thing that a DA ever does. Never.
I've covered Ben David doing it.
Huh. Only just the facts.
That's what he did. They released a statement of facts, and he took. You've seen
That's the wrong move. You're trying it in the public. Oh no.
It's election interference.
DAs don't do that. Real DAs do not do that.
Election interference.
How is that election interference?
Because they're going after him and they're basing it on what little bit they have, and they're trying to he's a candidate right now. He has claimed. Why didn't they do this a couple years ago? Why now? I mean, this is supposed to happen in 2016. That's 8 years ago.
District attorney, you remember who prosecuted Michael Cohen? And don't.
Oop, you broke
Michael
up.
Cohen was prosecuted by the Trump Justice Department, by Bill Barr. And what we now know this week is that Bill Barr went to the previous district attorney in Manhattan, Cy Vance, and said, stand down. We got it. Stand down. And Cy Vance said, okay. And then they came out and prosecuted Michael Cohen, but did not do anything for what was called figure number one.
All right, Doug, we have our regularly scheduled guests in here.
Call us back,
Thank
Doug.
You. Yep.
Shell companies, not a good thing. Shell companies.
Okay.
Thank you, Doug.
Bye.
Dr. Rosemary Stein, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Sorry for the few minutes.
Not a problem.
Yes.
You're fine.
Yes.
You're good to go. You probably couldn't see your phone if it's looking like it is there in Eastern North Carolina, because it's just totally fogged in. We have a fog bank.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't.
Well, good.
Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day in Alamance County.
Well, your song is not like ours. You can see clearly now. We can't see anything now outside.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I'm not.
It's actually kind of pretty.
I love fog. I just
beautiful.
think it's not mysterious or anything. It's just makes you feel cool. Makes me feel cool. A lot of people get hyper when everything is fogged in. Well, I've been on the water where you could not see from one end of the boat to the other.
Now that would bother me.
No, just stop.
Because what if Jaws was sitting there right in front of the boat and I didn't know?
Oh, for heaven's sakes. He couldn't see you either.
I have to see around me.
He wouldn't be able to see you either.
Well,
Jaws, poor Jaws.
He's
I like Jaws. There's nothing wrong with them, those critters. Anyway, Dr. Rose, are there some inherent fears in fog, especially with kids, or do they get excited about it?
Well, the fact that lots of the movies and the movie industry uses fog as something that's scary might mean that it's it is inherently eerie. I agree. It has. If you're in your house and it's foggy, it's a nice occasion for a coffee and some rest and a good book, I think.
There you go.
But not everybody would agree with me.
Yeah. Well, everybody's different. Mm-hmm. What's going on in the world of medicine? Anything that I know you get the American, medical journal stuff every month. No doubt about it. Is there anything out there we need to be concerned about?
Well, they keep on popping up some strange infections.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they're talking about some viruses that have come into the news that we see sporadically. I've seen some, which virus was it? Quite a bit of norovirus, which does come in the spring, but it does cause a lot of abdominal symptoms. I don't know if you guys have been having a lot of the vomiting and the diarrhea, but we sure have. And there are a lot of kids out of school because of those kinds of viruses right now. Now, per se, in the medical field, I'm not seeing that much that's new. We're still debating, new vaccines and should we be using vaccines for the possibility of more COVID that we will likely see. Things are shifting around. I think it's quiet on the medical front because there's not a lot of news right now. I think things are brewing, and we're waiting. One thing that I did find interesting is that there's more of a look to consolidate vaccines. Like kids get a lot of vaccines when they're in their first year to 2 years of life, and so some of the numbers of vaccines that people are receiving, the children are receiving, are less because of that. So instead of getting, let's say 5, 6 at one time, they're getting 1 or 2, and I've seen this more and more in the last year.
Are they spacing them out, or are they putting them all in one giant vaccine?
They're putting them all in one giant vaccine now.
That must be a heck of a needle.
It could be controversial because the thought is that your immune system has to respond to all
Correct.
of
That's an overload. Okay.
Yes, and that's an overload on your immune system. I personally like it so that you can space them out.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
But that means a lot of separate shots themselves, and so that could be very painful. But I think that I personally think, and most pediatricians don't, that if you give that many vaccines at one time, that then you may not be doing the immune system a lot of good.
You mean to space them out or to give them all at once?
To give them all at once.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I say space them out. As a parent, I would have rather bring my child in quite a few times versus give him one giant shot at once. That's just a lot.
Yeah, it is. Now, let's go back to that COVID thing we're kind of talking about, and we didn't talk about it exactly, but what is it? The 4th follow-up vaccine is available for those who want to take it. Is that what it is? 3rd or 4th? What? Anyway, I've had 3 boosters over the years, and I haven't taken the 4th yet. And the last one that I got, the 3rd, was back in July, I guess, of last year.
They're saying
so should we or should we not?
Well, the thought is that each vaccine confers decreasing amounts of immunity.
Decreasing
in its time, so that by the time that you're on your 4th, the studies have shown, and it's somewhat inconclusive, that you have immunity for a couple of months. I think the thought would be, in that case, if you're going to be in a situation that is high risk for COVID,
like if you're traveling to China,
you're a high risk person, that would be the better time. I don't know that that the COVID vaccine would be very helpful in other situations, just if you're just trying to boost your immunity against COVID, but you don't see anything coming up. Now, COVID is unreliable in the sense that you don't know when you're going to be exposed.
Yeah.
So that if you have a weak immunity and you think that it's a good idea for you to continue to receive the vaccine, you might want to give that some thought. But I think that at this point, it should be a thoughtful decision, not just jumping into it.
Our neighbor here, he went to the hospital, and it's unclear why he went in the first place. He's up in age a bit, not quite. He's a year younger than me, but he's got some years on him. But he went to the hospital, and he's still there because while he was at the hospital, he contracted COVID.
That's what I'm saying. It's scary to go.
I ain't going to the hospital
no.
anymore. I hope
Try not to go.
That is so strange.
I know about 3 or 4 people that's happened to
Same thing.
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go to the hospital if you don't need
That's
to.
what I'm saying. Do not go.
Yeah, it's full of sick people.
Yeah.
I don't need to be there.
Well, yes, that's true.
Yeah, terrible.
And what's really scary is like an ER. If you go to the emergency room for something serious, because after hours or whatever, you can't see your regular doctor, or you go to the ER. A lot of people go to the ER and just hang around there for hours on end, hours and hours on end, spreading whatever they've got. And the ER has no idea what they've got, right?
That is true. They have no idea. Then you're in a little bit of packed quarters. I think that it was smarter the way that it was done previously during COVID. Some things in COVID might have been good ideas. For example, to
stay in your car until we call you.
You stay in your car until you call you. Maybe you could be given one of those like beepers or something and stay there, because you don't know what a patient has.
Nope.
So we still adapted that. And if you are there for a sick visit, we prefer you to stay in the car until we call you. We understand it's a bit of an inconvenience, but on the other hand, you might not catch something else, and the other children that are well certainly won't catch something from you.
Yeah, just carry your own magazines
most
with you.
parents understand it.
Just carry your own magazines and read them in the car, because that's all you're going to do in the ER anyway.
Yeah, people don't think about that. I mean, they're picking up stuff that somebody's sick, it's got germs all over it. No telling what's on that.
No, that's not a me thing. So I personally, I would probably just sit in the car.
I was going to say they need to have like a little system or something like at restaurants.
Well, that's like right here at Onslow. You go in there on a weekend night, and that room is packed with people, just colds and
if
flu,
it's a
whatever.
full moon, watch out.
And you got to all sit together, and you sit there for hours.
That full moon thing is not a fallacy, doctor. I've been in there. Every cop in the world believes it, because we've seen it happen.
Doctors believe that too.
I figured as much. So it's not an old wives' tale. Dr. Rosemary Stein, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Dr. Rose.
Wonderful speaking with you. Happy Easter, by the way.
You
Happy
too.
Easter.
You too.
All right.
Be blessed.
You take care. You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME, and we'll be right back.
If you love ocean pier fishing, the Seaview Pier Motel and Restaurant located at mile marker North Topsail Beach is the place for you. The Seaview Pier is a family pier complete with bait and tackle shop, rod and reel rentals, and accessories. The restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner and features a complete menu from burgers to ocean fresh seafood, straight to you from the briny blue. With the Seaview Motel right next door and the most affordable rates on the coast, you can make it a vacation or a weekend of Carolina pier fishing. It's all here, including the fish. The Seaview Pier Motel and Restaurant, mile marker 18, North Topsail Beach, across the bridge, just south from Seas Ferry. To find out what's biting or for motel reservations, call anytime, 910-328-3172.
Good morning, you bad, beautiful bosses. This is Carrie Cobb, your boss mortgage broker from Empire Financial, NMLS 1987537.
And good morning, beautiful people. This is Donna Riggs, your local realtor, here with LPT Realty in Onslow County, and the surrounding areas of North Carolina. Your boss tip for today is to stop renting and start owning, because now is the right time to buy a home. Contact our team and let us help you approach the home buying process the boss way by building opportunities through simple solutions.
Text or call your lender today at 910-382-2188 or your realtor at 910-340-0224. Empire Financial, NMLS 2108504. Equal Opportunity Employer and Housing Lender. Visit empirefi.com for terms and conditions. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
This just in, I think there's been a prison break, and reports are saying it's the Scorcher. Yes, the Scorcher has escaped and is running rampant across Comfortville. Apparently, he's targeting innocent air conditioning units. Yes, and wait a second. It seems that reports are flooding in of unfortunate citizens feeling uncomfortable, hot, and in extreme cases, I hesitate to say this on the air, people are even sweating. Wait a minute, we're now getting word there seems to be some sort of disturbance. Oh, Bryant Man is on the scene, and he has apprehended the Scorcher. All right, tune in again for another tale of Bryant and always doing whatever it takes.
Call Down East Heating and Air Conditioning at 346-4311 and let them keep you comfortable this summer. Down East Heating and Air, serving our community for over 25 years. Down East can also help you with your home guttering needs. Call Down East today, 346-4311.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And 7:48, we're back here. And yep, it's I'm still trying to figure out what occurred yesterday. I can't find anything that shows me anything that I didn't already know.
I think he's got a very extremely weak case, and it's going to get. It's never going to go before a jury.
I would assume that it's going to be let's make a deal time.
Yes. Well, I don't think there's even going to be any deals made. I think Trump's entourage of attorneys are on it.
Misdemeanors.
Even a former federal prosecutor said there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So, but hey, I think, can we go shark hunting, fishing?
Oh, you mean up there on the Outer Banks?
I'm gonna tell you what.
There's a big one up there.
Yeah, Brayton. He weighs over 1,437 pounds.
And how did they know that?
They ping them all because
I understand, but it doesn't tell you how much.
But
how much
they
weigh.
because in the past, what they've done is capture them, weigh them on that boat, tag them.
He's over 13 feet. Like,
that's how they know the weight.
There's 10 of them right now pinging off the North
They're
Carolina
having a
coast.
convention. It's a shark convention. They're meeting.
Maybe they're making a new Sharknado movie. Kelly.
Maybe they're plotting it. Yeah. But they're having a meeting.
But you know, I like what they say. Well, generally they won't bother you unless they unless you confront them.
Well, you go jump in that little meeting and see how that works out for you.
I mean, really.
Well, I wouldn't wear anything that looks like food.
Well, anything flashy and
anything.
colorful,
Yeah.
but still.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you avoid a shark if he's in the water and you're there too? Of course, you're going to get confronted.
Well, did y'all know that there's some news here in Jacksonville? Remember when the food trucks decided to sue the city?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were in court Monday, and
But all of that's been resolved. I thought.
Well,
No.
sort
Not the
of.
suit.
City of Jacksonville filed a motion to dismiss, and the judge heard the claims, and because of some kind of weird technicality, the city has to be served a lawsuit again in order for the case to move
Yes, they have to
forward.
refile the lawsuit.
But they're saying the deputy at the Onslow County Sheriff's Office didn't check the right box on the paperwork.
technicalities
That was
all
like
thrown out.
3 years ago.
It was just a couple years ago, I think a
Yeah.
year ago that they started the lawsuit.
No.
The city said, well, I think the city of Jacksonville is ridiculous for not letting the food trucks in here the way
Uh-huh.
they, and
But they're in here.
No, not the way they want to be.
I think over 96% of the city, you can't not go sit because they're near restaurants.
Yeah, it's stupid. City of Jacksonville, y'all are a bunch of bumbling boobs with that.
I'll tell you what,
And,
they
and
just need
so
to.
I support the food trucks 100%.
They need to
Let
start-
us have a choice. Why do you care? Because I don't like to go to a restaurant where I got to wait 2 hours to get a seat.
Well, I think they should take
There's enough
drive-through
to go
neighborhoods
around.
like the ice cream truck does.
They do it down in Pender County.
Yeah, let the
I got a
taco
client
truck
lives
come
down
through.
there. They come through the neighborhoods and set up, and
Yeah.
the neighbors all get together and they plan for the whole month. They have the donut truck. There's a tortilla truck. There's
Yes.
a steak one that serves steaks. They got seafood, and
Mhm.
the neighbors plan the menu, and they'll have the food truck come at like the end of XYZ street, and they know they have a calendar. So they
Yes.
know on Friday night. These people plan it. I don't know why the city of
Smart.
Jacksonville don't just. This is ridiculous.
communities,
Shame on you, city
neighborhoods.
council. Shame on
People
you.
over there in my hood, we need to get together and plan that. That sounds
What
pretty
city
cool.
won't let you? What are you talking about?
They can come in the hood. There's no restaurants there.
You could argue. I'm sure they'll find a way to argue.
How about if they park in my
it's-
driveway?
I'll have them
Yeah.
park in front of the mayor's house. How
Well,
about
no,
that?
how about if they
Are you
just come
listening,
park,
Sammy?
park in my driveway?
I'm gonna start.
Could I not have a party? Just invite the whole neighborhood?
Yes, you can.
Try it
then
and see
have a-
what- yeah.
then
See
have
if
a
city
food truck
council
here.
shuts that down.
The only thing I really saw under the ordinance at the time I was researching it was that they couldn't have signs that were over a certain height and length, et cetera, et
I
cetera.
don't care about the sign
And they
part.
could not park within so many feet of a food establishment.
But what's the difference when you've got two food establishments side by side and a food truck?
Oh, I understand.
I mean, what
that.
I want someone, city council. I know some of y'all listen. What is the difference?
Well, think about it now. Put
What is-
yourself in the
Rayford,
shoes.
what is
There
the
is no
difference?
difference.
Put yourself in the shoes of someone that does own a food restaurant.
Mhm.
How would you feel if you were trying to serve patrons and there's a food truck sitting right next to your parking lot? I mean, I see both sides of it.
This is a free market economy.
Yes, it is.
What is what is the difference between that and me opening a restaurant next door to a restaurant?
Like opening a Doug's Donuts right next door to Krispy Kreme. I
What
mean,
is
it's
but
free market?
That's what I'm saying, Lee.
Right.
What is the difference?
I don't see where there's a difference, but
An actual restaurant inside of it's going to be able to hold more volume than a food truck.
Well, a
In
lot
theory.
of
I love
folks
me a food truck.
would prefer to go to a restaurant. Obviously, sit down. You've got the ambiance or whatever you want to call it. You've got food coming out that is not just fast food or anything like that.
well, I love the food trucks. Now you could go up there and get you a huge container of food, take it home,
But
and
There
kick
you
it
go.
back.
But this should be choice of people.
Absolutely. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's Whitney.
Hey, Whitney. What's up?
Not much. I'm on the way to work listening to y'all. Anyways, yeah, some of the best food comes out of a food truck.
Oh,
And
yes.
definitely.
Some of us, like, I'll leave the shop and there was a hibachi one that was right there at the shelf for a little bit. And I'd go get that because, you only get so much for lunch break. And sometimes you just want something quick. Like
Uh-huh.
you don't
Correct.
want McDonald's, you don't want Burger King, you don't, And I think it appeases a different market. Like if you're wanting to go to Outback or Longhorn or whatnot, you're going to go there. But I mean, the food trucks, they offer some good food and it's pretty affordable and it's just a different taste.
Exactly.
Good,
Yes.
good. And it's freshly cooked too.
Yeah.
It's
And
good.
that's like, going out to Cedar Point and 34 North, they always have a different food truck and it's just, you get to try new things and
Yeah.
they need to really open that up and be a little more open-minded.
They
Well,
do need to
there-
be open-minded
It's not gonna
and
take away-
flexible.
There are some
It's not gonna-
restaurants like the Borough, for instance, in Swansboro.
Mhm.
They actually have a food truck too that they send out to
Well,
places.
see, have that come park in the
Right.
driveway.
And it's really good.
Uh huh.
And I don't think we should just have food trucks whenever there's a festival because
Yeah, it's the only time you can go get one. I agree.
In
I
the
mean,
city.
in the city, I don't understand the city of Jacksonville's logic, and I'm being serious when I say I want somebody on the city council or in city government explain it to me because the rumor mills are that some of the big head honcho businessmen got nervous, scared, and whatever, and try to block this. And I certainly hope that they don't try to yield that much influence over the city council that they would keep these laws like they are. That I'm hoping that's not the reason, but
they have no problem allowing Starbucks to put up 2
correct
additional Starbucks in the area.
Yeah, there's
look at
more
the
pop-ups.
yes. Yep, you're right.
Allowing all
yep.
these extra fast food joints and everything, but if it's not corporate, then they don't care.
And,
I mean, I've
why
had my
not?
own situations with the city with the body shop, and but there's other body shops that are allowed to have things that I don't
There
have.
you
But
go.
the only thing behind them is there's corporate money backing them.
And see, and that's a
Absolutely.
problem. And what happened to economy and this? Like I said, we're a free market society. We should be able to have this. And I have yet to hear the city of Jacksonville's logic behind why they are so. Because to me, it just makes me think that they're scared of the food trucks. What are you so scared of? That's my question. Answer my question.
They need not to do that because the hibachi one I was talking about, one of the owners, or he's a part of it somehow over at Crystal Coast Graphics, is another local business. So you have a local guy that's doing more for the local community.
Correct.
And when it comes over to sponsoring softball and soccer, and then the sheriff's department wants their sponsorships and everything like that, they're not getting them from huge glamourous.
The corporates won't sponsor. Yeah.
Exactly. Like you might get something, from Dick's or whatever for sporting events and stuff like that. But I mean, the small businesses are the ones that put the money out there for the community.
Correct.
And they have no business, they have no problem knocking on our door. The sheriff's department was just here wanting us to sponsor something for some wrestling thing out in Richlands or something. And, but when it comes to making money, you want us to give our money, but you just don't want us to make money.
Well, I think
that's ultimately
the county allows the food trucks more
Yes.
it's just mainly it's the city of Jacksonville, which is
Right.
just dumb. And
but they need vendors for their festival.
of course they do, and they want citywide sponsorship at times. I mean, maybe the people ought to just stop sponsoring and see how the city feels about that. I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
I mean, I'm thinking about the annual, what is it, in August, the National Night Out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which they need to move to October.
Yeah, but if they
That's
had
a national thing, though.
I know it. Move
but
it.
if there were no food trucks there for that event, that would be a huge mistake, right?
Yeah, absolutely would.
So
Yeah.
maybe the food trucks
Well,
should
if they're-
just boycott it.
If they're good enough to come
I don't
there,
care.
why can't they come? I just don't understand the logic of the city. I don't understand. And then my next question is, as a taxpayer, because I live in the city of Jacksonville, okay, I pay
too.
some crazy amount of taxes.
Me too.
How much
Me
money
too.
of my tax dollars is being spent by the city attorney, John Carter, whoever he is, to fight this? I'd like to know. Maybe somebody should ask that question.
Well, I know I got a stoplight. Some of that city taxes.
Oh my word!
I know she's looking at me
just
like,
Huh?
stop. Never
What'd
mind.
you do, steal one?
Yeah. I think the food trucks ought to be allowed to operate in the city of Jacksonville. Trust me, city council people, there's enough
and a lot
money
of
to
them,
be
I mean,
spent.
If it's a permit situation, a lot of
Correct.
them will go buy it. They don't have a problem following the rules. but
Correct.
They're just not even putting rules in place for them to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Agreed.
They're not getting to that part.
Let them
You know?
make it a permitting process. Make them have to go get a permit, like other things.
Everybody else.
They can be checked by the health department.
Well, they are
inspections.
done
Do
that
that,
way.
yeah.
That's right.
And let's keep on rocking and rolling. But at least allow the citizens to be able to decide whether, because the citizens is who will drive this anyway. In all theory, they'll either buy the food truck food or they won't. But trust me, based on the way the restaurants look, there's not going to be a shortage of people going to actual restaurants.
no.
So that
Never.
argument is weak and lame.
What I think like during the week, lunchtime, it's great to have a food truck right down the street. You
Absolutely.
can run down there. I know a lot of people that do that
Yeah.
for lunch. And I think it's great. And
Yep.
if there was one closer to me, of course, living in the city like you, I mean, you have to go on the outskirts of the city to find a food truck.
Yeah,
But
well,
I'd be going.
They do it in New Hanover.
there's one just down the street here, outside the city,
Yes.
about a couple
Yes.
of miles
If
down.
They're Piney
problems-
Green.
If
Shopping
there's
center.
problems with them being concerned that they're going to take over the restaurants, and that's
Oh, that
well,
never
that's
happened.
bogus anyways. It's just, if you go do a takeout order at, Shogun, you're going to be spending a lot more than you would at the Highbot.
That's right.
But you also don't need to get all that food, for lunch.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like a happy medium. And I think you have the additional choices.
All right, I'm voting for Whitney for city council.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah,
Whitney, I'll be your campaign manager.
Somebody
Whitney.
needs to run for city council too that actually supports this, because this is just, I don't understand and I want the city council, maybe we need to try to get somebody brave enough to come on here and explain it, because I'd like to know.
Well, I'll make a few phone calls this afternoon.
I'd like to know.
And, say, hey,
what is the? I want to hear the
you and I
reason.
voted for
Rationale.
you. That's right.
We want to know what the
Yeah,
rationale
want to
is.
know.
Whitney, thank you.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank
Whitney.
you.
All right.
Stir-
Thanks, Rayford.
Stirring this pot.
Yeah, we love it.
It needs to be done.
Let's take a break. You're live in Local Real Talk. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246 CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Former President Donald Trump pleading not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records over alleged hush money payments before the 2016 election. Trump railing against the Manhattan DA in a speech from Mar-a-Lago.
The criminal is the district attorney because he illegally leaked massive amounts of grand jury information, for which he should be prosecuted, or at a minimum, he should resign.
Trump's next hearing is scheduled for December 4th. The trial could begin in January. Former teacher and union organizer Brandon Johnson has been elected Chicago mayor. He defeated former Chicago school CEO Paul Vallis, who was backed by the police union. And Wisconsin Supreme Court balance flips liberal with the election of Janet Protasewicz. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1.
WSME.
It's live and local. Real talk.
And it's 2 minutes after the hour. And welcome back to hour number 2, live and local Real Talk. We appreciate you being there.
The
And
first hour went fast.
it did. I don't know what happened. Maybe I slept through part of it again.
It's still foggy.
Yeah, I know.
I'm looking. Still
Yeah,
foggy.
The trees are getting
They actually
less
look
transparent.
No, Rayford, it looks thicker.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
say.
what I'm
You
saying,
can.
like-
It's getting thicker.
Yeah, the
and this
fog
is going to be
getting
this way
worse.
until off and on throughout the day until
Yes,
sometime this
yes.
afternoon
It's like
when
that
it burns
movie,
off.
The Mist. Did you ever watch
Uh-oh.
Did you ever see The Mist?
Oh, yes.
I hate the ending. Oh, my
Oh.
daughter is still
Whoa.
angry about the ending. Yeah. Robin said he'll never watch it again. He
Why?
was so angry. The ending is awful. I mean, and I don't mean that it's a bad ending. Oh my word. You just need to watch that movie. Yeah.
I've seen the movie.
Robin got so mad
I
at
saw
me.
it recently again.
Yeah.
On
He
that
does not like the
channel
ending.
stuff
a
like
lot of
that.
people do not like the ending.
Well, it's
It could have been avoided. The ending could have been
just
avoided.
been avoided.
Yeah. So that's what I look out there. I think of The Mist. I can hear the song in my head right now. Megan, if you're listening, sing the song. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Did you know that Department of Energy is
we got one?
yeah, I know, right? Is discontinuing light bulbs, certain light bulbs.
Discontinuing
Yeah,
them?
like they are they made new rules.
Oh
And
no.
yes, starting in August in the United States of America, you will only be able to purchase LED lights, those incandescent
Really?
light bulbs, no more.
Really?
Yes, really, really. Is it
No, I don't.
they
I've
made a
switched.
ban. They banned them, right?
You can't ban light bulbs.
I've
Apparently they
switched
have.
all mine to LEDs anyway. So.
I have too, but
Yeah, they
as I
banned
go
them.
along.
They made a rule and did a ban.
I don't like rules.
I know. You rule breaker, you. But yeah. So as of August, no more incandescent light bulbs, only LED.
So go to the stores now and
Better
stock
stock
up,
up.
y'all,
Yeah.
and then sell them on the black market. Illegal sale of
Yeah,
light
I
bulbs.
tell you, it says
What
on
if you
your
could- would
electric
you
bill.
would you be arrested for that? I mean, I'm just curious.
Who would be in charge of arresting you?
That's
Homeland
true.
Security?
It's hard to say.
Good God.
Yeah.
Homeland
Don't
Security.
know. Don't know the answer.
Oh my gosh.
Then the news came out that that wonderful Chinese spy balloon.
Oh, I know.
Did you
It's
see
so
that?
good. Yeah.
Yes.
It
So
got the
it
stuff.
managed to gather the intelligence.
Yeah,
Exactly
we
what I
talked about
said.
that yesterday.
Yeah.
I think you had just
I
left.
must have already left my
Yes.
dentist appointment. Yeah.
Yeah, gathering military intelligence. Well, did we recover the box?
Yes.
But they were saying, but Lee, they're saying
it's already
they
transmitted.
It was transmitted in
Right.
real time.
Yeah. It was
So,
live.
Once again, bumbling boobs. They let this thing fly for a whole
For
doggone
a
week,
week.
gathering
And they tracked
everything
it.
they needed.
They tracked it, but
Yes.
it was launched from China.
Yes.
Because they knew it. I saw the track of the
Yes.
dang thing.
Uh-huh.
How it came across the Plaza Ocean? It got into our airspace. It should have gone into the Pacific.
Canada and then back in our space. Yes. Yes.
Should have gone into the drink at that point in time.
Mhm.
That's the way that should be.
And they're saying, well, we aren't sure that, because they talked about how it changed its flight pattern.
What?
Oh, Rayford's about to play something. I knew. Rayford, I'm going to slap you. I am going to slap you right now.
Get in line.
And I'm going to sing this all day in my head. For those that don't know, this is the song from The Mist, from the end part, no less.
I'm waiting for a bunch of monks to come out.
Oh, right.
Robes.
Yeah. No, you don't remember the
Oh, I
song?
like
It's from
this
The
song.
Mist.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I do too.
Vaguely, I
Mhm.
remember it. I just remember it was creepy.
Yeah. Rayford, I'm
That
going to
just
hurt you
makes
right
me
now.
creep.
Yeah.
That is
I know,
creepy.
and I know Megan is cringing right now because she was so bothered, and Robin,
Really?
I know he's
Oh,
cussing
my.
me right now, Rayford, because Robin was so bothered by the end of that movie. I have a lot of friends that were too. Like
Really?
my daughter is she won't watch it anymore. Yeah.
Oh.
The end is just because it was so avoidable. Yeah. It's a good movie. If you haven't watched The Mist, it's the one with Thomas Jane as the star. It came out 2000 and maybe 7 something. I don't know. I can tell you, but it's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It is. It's disturbing.
Mhm.
Not that they made a TV show as well, and it wasn't bad. But it came 2007. Yep. Thomas Jane's the star. Marcia Gay Harden, Laurie Holden, Andre Braugher, Toby
like
Jones.
Marcia Gay Harden.
Yeah, I do too.
What that brings to mind, Kelly, did you ever watch Dark Shadows growing up?
Yes, and I watched it in the 80s when it rebooted.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
No,
Love
that
show.
was.
I
a
love
soap
the
opera.
80s reboot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Dark
was about
Shadows was great.
vampires.
I like vampire stuff.
We
Okay.
all as kids came running home from school to watch Dark Shadows in the afternoon.
Rayford,
I
I am
didn't do
singing that in my head now.
I know
I'm gonna
you
hurt
are.
you right
I can change that for you.
now. No, don't you do it. Do not.
Use your head.
No,
I
she's
can
going,
change
I
the
know what
song
she's
in her
going.
head.
Don't do it. No.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
It's like a discussion we had earlier.
Apparently, y'all don't understand. Rayford's about to get hurt.
I'm gonna be hearing that in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
and
I'm
like,
telling you.
"Get to go."
In Massachusetts, this is a wild story. In Massachusetts, a bunch of kids at elementary school had to be transported to the hospital over some spicy chewing gum,
Spicy chewing
and
gum.
it was so hot it was burning their
Oh,
esophagus and their mouth.
I
Yeah.
never like something
Yeah.
online to eat like that.
Mhm.
There's generally a problem.
And it had a level of, according to the principal, the gum product contained such a high level that it caused digestive issues and burned your mouth and esophagus.
I can't do
Those
that.
kids
No,
had to go to the
I know-
ER.
see,
I break
Yeah.
out.
I just no.
Mhm.
I got let's see. I was
Yeah.
shooting